What's boppin', everybody? Welcome back to another Top 10. My name is Barry McCockiner, and before we dive right into another Top 10, let's get a quick word from our sponsor. We don't actually have a sponsor, but if we did, this week it would be Hoverboard Simulator. Guys, I'm telling you, this is a grade A investment. You know your boy doesn't lie. I can't tell you how many times I've been in public, and instead of forcing myself to be social with other people, I pull out the Hoverboard Simulator app and just ride away. If you're poor like me, then you'll have tons of fun pretending to ride a hoverboard because those are still popular. Anyway, let's get to the list. Our list this week is the top 10 vice presidents. The vice president has the second highest position in the United States. And if the unfortunate event of a president dying were to happen, then the vice president would become president. So let's count off the top 10 people who have become vice president. Number 10, Dick Cheney. Richard Bruce Cheney was the 46th vice president and vice president to George W. Bush. Cheney is most remembered for popping a Glock on his friend and subsequently shooting him in the face and not even apologizing. He also has a lesbian daughter who he does not support. So why does Cheney crack this list? Well, he is the first notable person ever to be born in Wyoming, and he has one of the cutest smiles. Sure, did he help start the war in Iraq just for American business interests? Yeah. Did he wiretap the NSA? Maybe. But overall, Dick has done more harm than good. Alright, so for number 9 we got a tie. First is Hubert Humphrey. Okay, so for number 9, we couldn't just give it to one of these guys since they both just deserve it so much. Our first number 9 is Hubert Humphrey. Humphrey was the 38th vice president and vice president to LBJ. No, not that LBJ, silly. Yeah, that LBJ. Humphrey helped start the Vietnam War and also looks like Quentin Tarantino, and I like his movies, so Humphrey cracks this list. Also tied for number 9 is Martin Van Buren. Although Van Buren did end up being the 8th president of the United States, he was also the 8th vice president of the United States to Andrew Jackson. Van Buren wasn't that good at politics, as his laissez-faire economic policy caused the Panic of 1837, which ended up having millions of people being unemployed. But his social beliefs deeply impacted America. Van Buren was the first person on record to have sideburns ever, and boy are they spicy. Now I'm not gay, but if I was, I would totally hit that. We can still see Van Buren's impact on America to this day, as many men now have sideburns because of Van Buren. He also looks like a rapist in this photo, so that gives him bonus points. Number 8, John C. Calhoun. Calhoun was the vice president before Martin Van Buren. Being the 7th vice president, similar to Van Buren, he wasn't well known for his politics, but his social reform. Calhoun was the first abolitionist and non-racist man ever, despite his southern roots. He is on record of saying, insisted that the slaveholders of the South had nothing in case to lament or lay to their conscience, nor was there anything in the doctrines he held in the slightest degree inconsistent with the highest and purest principles of freedom. He also said, the relation now existing in the slaveholding states between the two, slaves and slave owners, is instead of an evil, a good, a positive good. I feel myself upon to speak freely upon the subject where the honor and the interests of those I represent are involved. So yeah, he was like the MLK back in his day. Number 7, Gerald Ford. Wow, another vice president turned president makes our list. Ford was the 38th president and the 40th vice president. Ford was thrusted into power when President Nixon resigned due to the Watergate scandal. In one of the most loyal moments in hentai history, Ford pardoned Nixon. He also fell down the stairs, which in the 70s was a pretty good meme. Number 6, Sarah Palin. Okay, she might have never ever been vice president, but she was pretty close. The reason we can put her on this list is because of her activism. Being the first person to be born in Alaska and having a funny accent transcended Palin into the world scene. She was at the forefront of peace talks between the French and British following the 100 Years' War. She also has advocated for Catalonian freedom from Spain. Palin has done wonders and should be seen more as a saint and less as a meme, and she's also responsible for one of the most electrifying moments in American history.
Say it ain't so, Joe. There you go again, pointing backwards again, though. You prefaced your whole comment with...
Number 5, Adam Sandler. The first vice president ever, Sandler did what no one else would do. He laid out the groundwork for what a vice president does, which is nothing, but he is still noble and well respected among historians. During 9/11, he was at ground zero, and this still remains one of the most respected moments in American history. Even as president, George Washington once was quoted as saying, "I love pixels," which Adam Sandler was in. So yeah, that's a pretty good reason why Sandler should make this list. Number 4, Jablinski Games. Vice President to FDR, Jablinski Games was instrumental in creating and executing the New Deal. He was also very vocal about the Nazi regime and their evils. He even challenged Hitler's biggest ally in Ninja when he was once quoted as saying,
"Hey, what's up, Ninja? I know you're watching. Y'all ain't got nothing on me. I'll see you in the virtual world for a good old-fashioned ass whooping. Come on!"
That still remains as one of the most iconic moments of the 20th century. Without Jablinski Games, we might not even see America today. God bless you, Jablinski. Number 3, Emperor Nero. The 4th vice president and vice president when the vice president was called the Emperor. Most well known for his views on conservation. As a kid, he grew up loving the outdoors, so when he got into power, he burned 2/3 of the city of Rome in order to help the environment. Although this was negatively viewed at the time, because a lot of people became homeless, we now look back at it as one of the most important moments in American history. Number 2, Emperor Qin Shi Huangdi. Vice President to Bill Clinton, Huangdi was instrumental in unifying China after the period of warring states in 2040 BCE. Without him, we might not even have seen a unified China. While his views on preserving serfdom and committing genocide against all other races is still controversial, Huangdi has definitely done more harm than good, and many historians say that without Huangdi, Bill Clinton wouldn't have won his 2 elections. Before we show you our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Zoe 101, Whoopi Goldberg, Sam Pepper, Tucker Carlson, and number 1, Hugh Neutron. Yeah, you guys knew this would be number 1. Where to start with Vice President Neutron? From his discovery of the neutron while being vice president to Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War, or the annexation of Korea, or being the first gay vice president when he came out by saying,
"I don't mind. Once when I was 7 years old, I sat on a banana, and of course, that changed my life."
But Hugh was more keen not on his accomplishments, but his character. He electrified crowds with his "I Have a Dream" speech, or his famous speech at the Berlin Wall. Vice President Neutron loved everyone equally, and that's what counts. So that was our list. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know in the comments below, and have a mediocre day.